Hey, good afternoon to you. Mark's out of HurricaneTrack.com. I don't know if my bandwidth is very good. I am here in Savannah, Georgia, Pooler Road or whatever it is, this big Home Depot, Walmart, everything. And there are so many people here that it doesn't seem like I have very good bandwidth. So what I want to do is take a look at the latest on Alberto. Hopefully the Hurricane Center has this updated. And let's see. Still the old information. So let's see if we can get the iPad where we can take a look at it. You know, I'm not in the Tahoe. Chevy Tahoe is retired, so I'm in a rental. This is a Ford F-150, and there's all my equipment back there. And I love this truck. This is nice, but I don't have my desk. I don't have the usual stuff to prop things up. It's kind of a hassle. So let's see if we can figure this out with this little stand or something and try to find the update here. May just have to do it like this. I can handle it. Because the most important thing is, all right, so here's the latest. To strengthen as it moves northward over the eastern Gulf of Mexico. Heavy rainfall continues to spread over Florida. So the winds are still 40 miles per hour, pressure 999 millibars. So let's look at the public advisory, see if there are any changes to the watches and warnings. Changes with this advisory. Tropical storm warning has been issued for the west coast of the Florida Peninsula from Bonita Beach to the Anclote River. Tropical storm warning issued for the northern Gulf Coast from the Osceola River westward to the Mississippi-Alabama border. The tropical storm watch has been discontinued west of the mouth of the the mouth of the Pearl River, including Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Maurepas, or however you say it. So you folks in Louisiana, good news for you. And the storm surge watch has also been discontinued to the west of the mouth of the Pearl River. All right, what else? A storm surge watch. So no storm surge warning yet. That's what I was looking for. All right, so let's go to the discussion and see if that is out. Yep, the discussion is out. Good. All right, so let me read this to you because this is really important and very helpful. Before departing the storm, the Air Force Reserve Hurricane Hunter aircraft near the low-level cloud swirl that became apparent in visible satellite imagery over the southeastern Gulf of Mexico morning, and that the pressure had fallen to 999 millibars. The aircraft did not sample the area to the east of the new center, but based on recent satellite classifications, it's still set at 35 knots. The primary mechanism for intensification appears to be a shortwave trough moving into a larger negatively tilted trough over the eastern Gulf, which should cause a cutoff low to form during the next 24 hours. This will resume Sunday into Sunday night. The shear is forecast to decrease as Alberto becomes co-located with the upper level low and the system into a more tropical cyclone-like feature. The NHC intensity forecast once again calls for steady strengthening, but shows little strengthening after that time due to the possibility of dry air intrusion. Has been moving generally northward during the past 24 hours. The reformation of the center today makes the initial motion estimate more uncertain than normal. Alberto should move northward to north-northeastward tonight and then turn north to north-northwestward and slow down on Sunday and Sunday night as it moves around the eastern side of the trough and the cutoff low. Wow, this is complicated. The dynamical models remain in good agreement on this scenario, but have shifted eastward once again. The interpolated guidance models lie a bit west of the model fields due to the more northwestward 2 o'clock Eastern Time initial position of Alberto. As a result, and this is the bottom line, the NHC track is along the eastern edge of the guidance envelope as a compromise between the Euro, the GFS model fields, and trackers. The new NHC forecast track has required the issuance of a tropical storm warning for a portion of the west coast of Florida and a tropical storm warning for the portion of the northern Gulf Coast. Heavy rain, we talked about that, tropical storm force wind, and hazardous storm surge are possible. Dangerous rip currents still showing about 65 miles per hour for the peak intensity right there. See that? So about 65 miles per hour. All right. So again, sort of your hybrid kind of system, a weird kind of a mix of things. And oh, the satellite picture is just not going to load. Well, let's just look at a single frame, shall we? Hopefully that will. Yep, there we go. So here's what it looks like this afternoon. You know, not classic, right? It's not what you expect to see normally with a tropical storm. And that's because it's subtropical. It's got all these different features kind of blended in. But watch what happens over the next day or so, especially when I'm able to do this with the laptop again and not in a truck at the Walmart parking lot. And I show you the evolution of this. It will gradually resemble what we're used to seeing is the bottom line. All right. So the modeling here, I wanted to show you this kind of, you know, east of Mississippi kind of deal. So maybe Alabama, Western Florida Panhandle is what it looks like. And that is reflected in the forecast track that we talked about. Now this is important here. All these reds and oranges and greens indicating all these pretty nasty conditions for the southeast, northeast Gulf of Mexico, southeast United States. Flood watches there in the green, tropical storm warning in that sort of orange color right through there, or pink, or whatever that is. What do you call that? Right through there, you see it. The orange is over in West Texas. And then the greens are your flood watch areas. Let's zoom in on this. That'll help. And, you know, so the peninsula of Florida up through the Panhandle, southern Alabama, you know, just yuck, right? Lots of heavy rain, and we can see that on the radar. All right, so I've got this radar ready. Tried to. There we go. So you see down in the southeast portion of Florida, mainly South Florida, south of the I-4 corridor, steady rain down in the Keys, and that's going to all be spreading to the north with time. And you can see right down there near the northern coast of Cuba, that's the outer bands of the storm itself. Everything else kind of a periphery effect from Alberto. All right, so really, what can you take away from this? Switch it over to me for a second. Think of it just as a tropical storm, okay? Don't worry about the subtropical part. I've been talking about this for the last few days. Very heavy rainfall. It's going to make travel very difficult. The storm surge potential, we're going to know a lot more about that as this gets closer and begins to intensify. There will eventually be storm surge products issued by the National Hurricane Center Storm Surge Unit, and we will get some more definitive storm surge values. I'm thinking the Big Bend area, St. Mark, Cedar Key, all the way over to Carabel and Apalachicola, those regions, right? That's the area that we really need to be the most concerned about, because history shows us those are the areas that have flooded from events like this in the past, where you funnel all that water up into that concave area. It just makes sense. The water has nowhere to go if it's being pushed ahead of this storm. So the west side of the storm and the center itself, really don't worry about this. This is not going to have an eye wall per se. So focusing on the center is not helpful in this situation. It's what the impact to the east. You've heard this a lot, I'm sure, from not only me, but a lot of other people. It's true. So watch how this evolves over the next several days. And it is going to be several days, unfortunately, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's going to be an east-weighted system, and that means a good deal of the peninsula, the northeast part of the Gulf of Mexico, and eventually the southeast United States as a whole going to be under the gun from this system. Like I said, I am traveling. I'm in Savannah, Georgia area, heading towards the Tallahassee region, whatever, tonight, where I will hopefully get a few hours of sleep. I will be setting out the cameras and posting information along the way. So if you're not following me or subscribed on YouTube, do so, because tomorrow I'll have this mounted in here. And where's my little, how do I switch it back? Come on, it's not going to let me switch it back. How rude. That's just funny. Maybe this will do it. Nope. I don't see, oh, there it is, bottom corner. I gotta learn this. I will have this mounted nice and steady, so it's going to be kind of like that, right? And we'll have a live shot of everything that's going on as long as I've got bandwidth available. So streaming live on YouTube tomorrow. Follow on Twitter at HurricaneTrack, and I'll post updates to there as well. Later tonight, I'll do another update from the hotel room using the laptop, where I will have the screencast capability, and it'll be a lot smoother and a lot more of what you're used to. But this is what we do. We're on the road. And yeah, this is a rental. The Tahoe is done. This is a Ford F-150, by the way. And I picked this up in Wilmington, and I'm using this for the trip. So that's what I'm driving, a Ford F-150 and it's pretty nice, I have to say. Thank you guys very much for watching. Switch back me to sign off. I want to be proper about it. Make sure I'm ready to sign off. Thank you guys very much for watching. I am Mark Seth with HurricaneTrack.com. En route to Florida for Alberto. I'll have more coverage for you along the way. Thanks for watching.